morning from Sheffield. We are back. So we got back late last night from visiting family, and even though I did try and carry on the daily videos like as normal, kind of as planned, there was a little bit of disruption, so sorry about that. But we are home now. It was such a stormy night last night. We had gale force winds here, our garden fence is down, but it's nice and calm today. We were meant to be at a market today, but I bailed on it because I'm not feeling 100%, and the weather was so awful yesterday. Yeah, I just didn't want to be chasing cards around if I wasn't feeling 100% and it was raining and the gazebo would be blowing around. So I decided to take the very grown-up decision of passing on this one. So I sent them an email last night. But it means that today we have a whole day together to do something creative. So I've got the studio to work in, we can maybe go to the cafe. I don't know, the world is our oyster. By the time we've messed around getting things sorted from yesterday's journey, actually, it's 2:10 now, and the light is fading in the studio. So we've come up with the good idea of going to the cafe because they're open till 3, and I'm going to go and do some drawing there, so come along with us. Our fence blew over in the gale. So we're back. It was really nice, but unfortunately there wasn't a lot of people to draw. There was a few people coming in for takeaway coffees and stuff, but that's fine. I had a nice hot chocolate with Andy. So I'm gonna have a shower now, and then there was one picture of a little girl that came in that I drew, and I thought I could maybe, with that little snippet that I've got in my sketchbook, I could maybe make that into a bigger character in my sketchbook, not like necessarily a finished illustration, just play around with some character developments. So after my shower, join me and let's do that. some days you don't get a lot of drawing done, and today's one of those days. Like I say, at the cafe, it was mainly people getting takeouts. There were some people sitting next to us who had 2 dogs, but we got talking to them and they were very aware that I was drawing things, so I only got to draw a little bit of their dog, and I really wanted to draw them, but I didn't want to. It felt too imposing, it felt too much like they were looking over my shoulder, and if I'd started drawing them, if it had become unflattering, which rough sketches are, they may not have understood that, they might have taken offence by it. So I drew some people who were coming in getting takeout coffees. Not a lot of time, really. The hot chocolate was nice, which is good. But then there was this little girl here, and she was all wet and bedraggled because she'd been on a walk, and she was just peeping over the top of the counter at all the cakes and things. And I thought, I don't know, the way I'd captured the shape of her head, she didn't look exactly like that, but I was kind of accentuating the kind of childlike features. So the eye and the nose area being smaller, the head being bigger. If you want some tips on how to draw children, by the way, I have got a video about that. It's kind of not about that, but I do give tips for drawing children, and it kind of formed into a kind of tip giving video. So I'll link that at the end if you want to learn how to draw children. I'll also put it in the video description in case you don't get any of those pop-ups at the end. So yeah, go and check out that if you want to. But I thought I would use this image as a springboard, maybe just to quickly sketch some rough, like, pretend poses for this person, how this little girl could be if I had more time drawing her. So I think this is all I've got in me tonight. But let me turn you around and I'll show you everything that I've sketched today because I know sometimes it's difficult to see the drawings that I do when it's at an angle at the side. So let me turn you around and we'll do that. These are the drawings that I've done, which were sparked from the idea of this little girl who was peeping over the counter. So I thought she could be in a cake shop, looking at one of the cakes. I like the idea that she might be wearing a tutu and like Doc Martens or jeans. My niece was very eclectic in wardrobe choices when growing up. So that's what inspired me there. And I'm glad that I did that before my year out. So if you don't know, I've taken a year out away from designing and drawing things with the idea that I'm going to sell them, and I've just been focusing on my sketching and really developing my skills and my kind of core, finding out what I wanted to draw and building up a bank of skills. Because before this year out, I didn't really know how to sketch. I didn't know why to sketch, if that is a sentence. And I've really delved deep this year into my sketching, into my observational sketching, and I've joined some courses and built up a community, and I feel like I'm a better illustrator after taking this year to just focus on observational sketching and drawing something that I want to draw rather than drawing something to sell that I think someone else would want to buy to sell. Because I think before there was a gap between where I was as an illustrator and where I wanted to be, and I didn't know how to bridge that gap. But this year out, I mean, I've still been making money, I've still been selling things in my shop, but I've not been designing new things specifically to sell. All of my creative energy has been basically observational sketching and then doing a few illustration courses with the Good Ship Illustration. And before this year, I wouldn't have been able to really do justice to developing a character. And I know it's not exactly consistent. I've just spent a few minutes bashing some ideas out. This little girl, I don't know, the facial proportions in some of them are a bit off, but it's fine. One thing that's developed in me since taking this year to develop my sketching is that I won't let little things that don't quite work in it, I won't let that stop me. Now I see it for what it is. It's a process, it's sketching. These are my first initial sketches, and that's fine. But I like that just out of this, I have got now the ability to draw so much more out of it, and all of the observational skills that I've gained this year have really helped me be able to create something out of a snippet that I've seen in like a 2-second snippet, and I've sketched it down, and now I can get all of this out of it. And that's one of the benefits, I think, of observational sketching and getting really good at drawing quickly and drawing from life, is that it's fine sitting in your studio thinking up ideas, maybe going on the internet and finding reference pictures to draw from. But at the end of the day, if you never go out of your studio and you never see real life things, and you never get those experiences in your brain, even if you're not drawing, your bank of ideas is going to get stale, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, you could imagine a little girl picking something out from a cake shop and looking over the counter. You could imagine that. But would you imagine that? Would I have imagined that if I hadn't saw it? Would I have thought of something else which was similar to an idea that I had before if I hadn't gone outside? And now I've got this, which has been sparked from such a small thing that happened, and that could develop into something. You never know. But I've just spent like 5-10 minutes just drawing some ideas down, and yeah, it's not entirely 100% consistent. But would you expect your first 5-minute sketches to be? No. And I've started something there, and now I've got that in my sketchbook. It might go somewhere, it might not, but it's worked those kind of drawing muscles, those observational sketching muscles, and also not just my observational sketching muscles, but my creative muscles as well. So I've been able to make something up around that. Like, who is this little girl? Who is she? What's going through her head when she's looking at the things over the counter? What could she be wearing? Because I didn't actually see what she was wearing, I just saw her little head. You know, and I feel like I've developed a lot since the very beginning of this journey. Once I'm back in the studio properly in my mind as well as just in body, I will take up that comment suggestion and do a little sketchbook tour. And I'm going to compare one of my sketchbooks from before this year out and then one of my sketchbooks from after this year out, and compare the difference between them, and I'll do a full flick through. But in the meantime, if you do like seeing sketchbook tours, so I'm not going to be doing a lot of sketchbook tours on my YouTube because it is one of the rewards on my £1 tier of my Patreon, and for the £1 tier you get your sketchbook tours every month of all of my observational sketchbooks, so you get a really good nosy through all of the things that I've been up to. You get also access to our live drawing sessions on Zoom. You get instant access to all of the recordings of the previous drawing sessions and also the previous sketchbook tours, and you get our monthly downloads. You get all sorts, and it's on the £1 tier. I've tried to make it available to as many people as possible because I know we're all skint at the moment. But yeah, that's all I'm going to mention about that. If you want to join up, I'll pop the link in the video description. It's patreon.com/Emma Woodthorpe. No obligation at all. But I do appreciate some people might not want to join Patreon, but you might want to see a little bit of my process, my previous work, and a little bit of what I've been up to in the month. So I have taken that on board and I am planning to do that, but I just need to get out of holiday mode now and back into studio mode. So yeah, keep peeled for that. I will, like I said before, I will link that video with some tips on how to draw children and make them look like children, because it's only really recently that I've been able to draw children and them not look like really tiny adults. So if you want some tips on that, I will link that video in the video description, or if at the end of this video you see 2 video suggestions pop up, one of them will be tips on how to draw children. So make sure you click that and have a little look. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, and if you're not already subscribed, it would be lovely to have you subscribed with me, and then you'll get notified when there are new videos and stuff up, and we just won't lose contact with each other. How about that? But I'm going to leave this video here, and I will catch you in the next one. So until then, bye.